a little bit more. If you'd like to begin, we'll start in our toe opening pose just to really get us going. So I think you've all done this with me, but just tucking the toes behind you and sitting back on the heels. If you're feeling really sensitive today, just keeping your fingertips on the ground. But just sitting here for a few moments while I chat about today. Yeah, so, we were just talking about the sort of wildness of what's going on right now, and it sort of feels a bit unbelievable at times. And I've been thinking about this a lot as I'm in my hometown of Portland, which is super wild right now and really just feels so abnormal and different than I ever would have imagined it to feel. And, I think kind of what Trish was saying earlier, it's like at the end of, if you like kind of just take all of the excess out of what we do or why we practice yoga, it's really to come back to how we can be okay with just being here. And it's so much easier said than done. It's like, I've had a teacher that would always say, like, it's simple, but not easy. And it's so simple because really we are just here. And we can intellectually understand that we are just here and we are fine. Like you can say, I am fine, I'm okay. And that is true in this very moment. In the present moment, everything is okay. Because you are here and we are together in this way. But so often we can be like so pulled out or so like pulled away from ourselves that we tend to forget that. And that's why we practice. That's why we have these, like for me, I'm like, oh, I have my scheduled classes. Like I have this regimen that I do because it helps me remind myself that I am here. So with that, you can lift up your feet and just sit back on your heels, just give them a little rock. So I think throughout today's practice, to be pulled away from here is only natural. And we have to sort of accept that when we accept being human, we accept that our minds are going to be like bonkers, like they just kind of have control over us in some ways. But yeah, so just throughout the practice, if you notice your mind wandering, you find yourself worrying or thinking about what's next or what you did already today, what you have to do tomorrow, just seeing if you can sort of greet that with a moment of like, oh, that's funny, like that's my mind and I'm just going to bring it back because we have this lovely body that we're going to be sort of getting into today, and we can just pull the mind back inside of us. Yeah, so just giving your eyes a close if they're not closed already, and finding a place of stillness. Just letting all of that settle. It's hot out in New York today. It's very hot here as well. Just sort of noticing the temperature of the air on the skin, noticing the desires of the body to move if there are any. Just noticing as the cells of the body begin to settle, and the breath, perhaps quite gentle right now. I'll offer a guru mantra, because none of us would be here without our teachers. And perhaps you can invite a teacher into your mind, or a guide, a mentor, a plant, an animal, anyone, any being that has brought you to this moment. Om Agyana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Deep breath in, filling the entire body system, toes, knees, hips, belly, heart space, crown of the head opening up. Let it go, pulling the belly into the spine, pressing every drop of air out of the body. Feeling the lips this time, inhale, filling the pelvis, filling the back of the belly, the back of the rib cage, back of the neck, crown of the head open. And exhale through the nose, softening the chest, the heart, the belly pulls into the spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in, really expanding the body. Notice the bones as they float away from the center. And as you exhale, everything falls closer to the center of the body. One more like that. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. This time as you inhale, begin rocking the pelvis forward, dropping the chin to the chest, sort of an inverted cat or cow, whichever you like. I'll face sideways so you can see. You're tilting the spine forward and dropping the chin into the chest, really pulling the chin in. Give yourself a nice double chin. On your next exhale, go ahead and tilt the pelvis back, curving the lumbar spine and lifting the chin up. Yeah, kind of funny, awkward thing, but it's really great for our lymph. We start to wake up our bodies here. Inhale to tuck in the chin, fold the pelvis, really crease in the front of the hips. Nice stretch in the lumbar spine. And then exhale, rocking back in the pelvis, chin lift high. Do this a few more times. See if you can really match your breath with this. So just like we do in cat-cow, really seeing if you can allow the movement to stretch and the lungs to stretch simultaneously. Allowing for the bones of the body to press against the muscles, even in this kind of funky, awkward shape, or shapes, I suppose. Now finding a few more like this. Nice forceful breath. Really inviting the oxygen into the body, and then letting out any stagnant air. And finding just one or two more, and then finding your way back to center. You can inhale to lift the arms high. And as you exhale, planting the left palm down next to the body and shift the hips over to the right heel. So you're just shifting the hips up and over, reaching this right arm out and up, reach as far as you can, and then open up the heart towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, curving forward, rounding the spine, rolling the heart towards the earth. Inhale to open up the heart. Exhale to curve forward. Just like I think carving through space is kind of nice. Yeah, so allowing you to open and press through the muscles of the body, and then carving forward, really allowing for some resistance to begin to build in the body, only by your own strength. Yeah, you're not being pushed against anything other than like the bones are pressing against the flesh. Taking one or two more of these nice opening and closing, really opening that side body, opening up the rib cage, inviting a little bit of heat in. Taking one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, planting that right palm next to the left knee, so both palms are down on the ground. You can either tent the fingertips or keep the palms down. And as you inhale, pressing into both palms to round the spine, you begin to have this nice cat twist here. We'll just take 3 breaths. A little awkward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, allow the bones to twist a little bit more. Chin pulls into the chest. Deep inhale. Exhaling, chin pulls into the chest. Back of the heart reaches high. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, releasing that, walking the palms in front of the knees, just giving the hips a nice shift side to side. If you need to come off of your toes for a moment, or your feet, that's fine. You can just lift them up, give them a nice little moment of rest, and then walk your palms back, sitting up nice and high. Take an inhale, arms sweep high. Exhaling the right palm down this time. As you inhale, opening up the heart, reach, really opening and allowing the breath to fill the body. Exhaling to carve forward. You can almost imagine the left lung rolling over the heart. Take a deep breath in, opening, allowing that heart to shine high. Exhale, carving forward. 2 or 3 more. Finding your rhythm, your breath, allowing the mind to fall into the body. What am I experiencing now? In this moment, everything I need is right here. My body. It feels pretty yummy, so also you can indulge in that. Yeah, inhale to open up the heart. And as you exhale, this time planting the left palm outside of the right knee, either tenting or planting the palms, and then pressing into both palms as you inhale, drawing the back of the heart high, tucking the chin into the chest, and exhale to twist the spine a little bit deeper. Deep breath in. Exhale, allowing that nice compression in the front body. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, belly button pulls into the spine. One more breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, walking the palms back forward, just giving the hips a nice shake side to side. Release anything that was funny in the back. And then from here, as you're ready, just walking the palms forward, coming into your tabletop position. And from here, we'll just find a few cat-cows, which will probably feel quite good because we didn't really get the maybe satisfaction that we all love out of cat-cows from that initial movement. So you can inhale to drop the belly, crown and tail lift high. And then exhale to pull the belly button into the spine. And find this on your own. Yeah, this is another great way to stimulate the spine. The theme, or sort of what I'm focusing on in class today, is to stimulate the lymph of the body. Because oftentimes when we are sort of submerged in a bit more stress, which a lot of us have been for quite some time now, the body becomes quite stagnant. So we're super blessed to have this beautiful practice of yoga. And what we're focusing on in a physiological sense today is really allowing for the lymph in the body to move. So along the spine, the neck, all of the pits of the body, the knees, the hip creases, the shoulder, the armpits, the elbows, it's all good stuff. Yeah. And eventually finding yourself in a neutral tabletop as you're ready. Just noticing this shape, seeing if you can press into the tops of the feet to engage the low belly. Press into the palms. We'll just do a few shoulder rolls to wake up the muscles of the shoulders so you can drop the heart between the arms here and then roll the shoulder blades down the spine, press into the palms to lift the heart. Yeah, so just as if you were rolling your shoulders, but with a little bit of weight with our body here. It's a really nice way to build some muscle and some mobility in the shoulders as well. You can go both directions. Notice when the body starts to fatigue. Sometimes this will make your lips sort of do funny things depending on your nerves and where the tension is. Yeah, just waken those up. And then from here, as you're ready, tucking the toes behind you, and just shifting the hips up and back, finding your first down dog. So nice release for the shoulders. And if you can plug the shoulder blades into the rib cage, allowing for them to fall away from the ears. And just walking side to side, really pressing the feet into the earth to begin to open up the backs of the legs, the sides of the body. Enjoying how this feels. And if it doesn't feel good, then being present with that too. Yeah, it's okay to go both ways. Finding stillness as you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hips lift a little bit higher, soft bend in the knees, deep inhale. And exhale, letting it go. Inhale to lift the right leg high, opening up the hips to stack the pelvis. Bend that right knee and go ahead and give a little bit of movement here. I like to find some rolls in the ankle, circles with the knee. It can be quite nice to explore the pelvis. Notice as it opens and closes. To teach a whole day about just the pelvis. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so just starting to notice what's happening in your body inside of the shapes themselves. The pelvis opens when you lift the leg higher. As it closes, perhaps the leg begins to drop. We'll take an inhale to extend that right heel nice and high. And as you exhale, rolling that right leg in so that the pelvis does square. You can inhale to lift the inner heel a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, just stepping outside of that right palm, dropping the left knee and toes down to the mat. Inhaling to slide the heart and the hips forward. We'll find a few breaths in our early lizard, just sort of rocking the hips side to side here. Just beginning to open up the front of that left hip. Super nice. Making sure you're breathing. Take an inhale. Exhaling. Maybe with a hum. That's always nice. Inhale. Exhaling. Yeah, from here, just shifting the weight back into that left knee can leave it sort of a wide-legged Ardha Hanumanasana. You can begin to lift the right toes back and see if you can begin to extend that right hamstring. If not, that's also fine. And then we're just gonna find a little bit of a shift side to side here. Be nice and gentle and slow. The hamstrings, depending on your past experiences, might be a little bit tender. So just sort of being aware of that. Sometimes I like to bend my right knee and sort of extend my tailbone back. Yeah, so rather than curling, I try to reach it back, and it can give a little bit of a different sensation on that right hamstring. So just taking a few more breaths here, a little bit of exploration for you. You might notice if you shift the hips to the left versus the right, things are a little bit different, but just again, being gentle. You don't want to get too wild so far. Taking one more breath here. Now, as you're ready, walking the palms forward, planting them down, tucking the left toes, stepping back to your down dog. Just notice for a moment how different the legs feel. And as you inhale, next left leg will lift high, opening up the hips to stack the pelvis. Once again, bending that left knee and finding your own exploration. Yeah, taking the initiative yourself, sort of inviting some curiosity into your own practice. Yeah, we have this sort of three-legged dog structure, and then really that left leg can do anything. So seeing how it feels to really open up the pelvis, seeing how it feels to close it down. That left hip can even drop past square. Yeah, there's a lot of things that the pelvis is capable of. So just seeing how it feels right here, right now. What is your body asking for? What is it telling you? On an inhale, next, extending that heel nice and high. Exhaling to square the hips, really dropping the toes towards the earth. Inhale to lift the inner heel a little bit higher, super square pelvis. And as you exhale, stepping outside that left palm, right knee and toes come on down. Inhale to shift the hips and heart forward. Finding that nice sort of wiggly lizard pose. Sort of lazy lizard, more so. Good. Sometimes I like set this intention to go through my practice and just think about all of the animals that these poses represent, and I try to embody the animals in the different postures, and it is actually kind of amazing because really they have their names for a reason, you know. So can we embody a lizard in this moment? Maybe. It's kind of nice. Bathing in the sun. Taking one or two more breaths here. Maybe letting out some sound. And as you're ready, just beginning to shift the weight back into that right knee, flexing the left foot and seeing if you can bring that left knee to straight or bent. It doesn't really matter, but just kind of seeing what your body is seeking. And then find a little bit of movement here, yeah. You can see, again, it's sort of a pelvis exploration, which is nice. Notice if you like to have the pelvis rounded. Notice perhaps what happens if you try to stick your bum out. It really just opens up the back of that left leg. Notice you lean to the left versus the right. It's a little bit different, yeah. The body's not quite linear. And so we can have a little bit of play inside of that. Taking one more breath here. Letting it go. Walking the palms back forward, bending that left knee, tucking the back toes, stepping back for your down dog. Just really pressing the palms and the toes into the mat to really lift the hips nice and high. Yummy, yummy down dog. Inhale. Letting it go. And as you're ready, gently walking the feet forward. Really paying attention to each time that you take a step, shifting the weight, pressing into the earth, making your way all the way up to your down. This is this forward fold. Yeah. The hips, feet can be about hip width apart.
And just shifting the weight from toes to heels, side to side, finding a place to hang out. Shaking the head yes and no and maybe. Soft bend in the knees, nice soft belly, draping the spine forward. We'll just take about 3 breaths here. You can hold on to opposite elbows if that feels good. We love forward fold. Yeah, I'm really seeing if you can allow for that softness. Stability in the legs will sort of support you no matter what, unless you fall forward, which is also fine. Sometimes it's fun. Just one more breath here. Deepest breath so far. Letting it go. Letting go of any clasp you have with the palms. Press deep, 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 deep into the feet. And notice as you press into the feet, the spine begins to roll up, tucking the chin towards the tailbone. Nice rounded spine as you roll up one vertebrae at a time. Eventually, the knees begin to extend, the front of the hips extend. Head is the last to arrive. Shoulders come up to the ears and fall down the back of the body. Asana. Go ahead and lift up the toes, spread them nice and wide, and plant them deep into the earth. Lift the back of the neck a little bit to drop the chin, nice long spine. Press into the feet. Maybe the eyes come to close. Taking a moment, bringing the mind back into the body, perhaps into the heart space. Taking a moment to sort of acknowledge any intention that you have for this practice. Maybe just asking yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And again, there's never really an exact answer. Sometimes there is, I guess, but it's okay if it seems a little bit foggy, because really you made the choice to be here, and the body is quite wise when it sort of leads us to these practices. So honoring that within yourself. Take a deep breath in through your nose, letting it go. Inhale deeply, sealing the lips. Exhale through the nose, eyes can flutter open. We'll do one round of sun salve. We don't need to build too much more heat. You can inhale to sweep the arms high, lifting the gaze with the fingertips. As you exhale, folding forward, creasing at the hips, soft knees, palms meet the earth. Inhale for your halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, palms down, stepping the right leg back, knee and toes come down to the mat. Pressing into the earth, inhale, arms sweep high, opening up the front of the body. And exhale, palms come back down to the earth, stepping back downward, facing dog. Inhale, rolling the spine forward to plank. Pausing here as you exhale, belly pulls into the spine. We'll do just 2 rolls of the shoulders, just like we did in our tabletop. Just seeing if you can roll the shoulders down the spine, and then you can reverse directions as well. But seeing if you can really allow the shoulder blades to finally plug into the rib cage. Yeah, good shoulder strengthening here today. Take a deep breath in this neutral plank. Exhale, belly button pulls into the spine. One more deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, you can lower down knees, chest, chin, or shifting forward for chaturanga. Elbows pull into the rib cage. Inhale, heart comes forward for cobra or up dog if you are ready. And exhaling the hips back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, right leg sweeps high, square pelvis. Exhale, stepping between the palms, back knee comes down to the mat. Pressing down, inhale, the arms to sweep high. Exhale, palms come back down to the mat, stepping forward, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, palms to the heart. Mind comes back into the body, into the heart. Take a deep breath in. Letting it go. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, folding forward, soft knees, soft belly. Inhale, heart reaches high. Exhale, palms drop, left leg back, knee and toes come down to the mat, pressing into the earth to inhale, the arms sweep high. Front body opens up. And exhale, palms down, stepping back downward, facing dog. Inhale to roll the body to plank, really tucking the chin towards the tailbone, and then letting that long spine sort of unfurl. We'll take 2 rolls in either direction, dropping the chest, really waking up these shoulders, keeping the breath going, enjoying any sweat or fatigue that's coming. Just our body is functioning for us. Yeah, we'll take a deep breath in this neutral plank. Exhale, belly button pulls into the spine. And as you inhale next, you'll shift forward for your chaturanga and find your way through your flow. Yeah, really listening to what your body is asking for. I know I'm starting to sweat, so maybe some breaths out the mouth. We'll take a breath in here through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. You can do that anytime you're feeling a little bit overheated. On your next inhale, left leg will sweep high, hips stay square. Exhaling, stepping between the palms, right knee and toes come down. Pressing down, inhaling the arms to sweep high. As you exhale, planting the palms, stepping forward, forward, forward. Inhale, the arms sweep high. Exhale, palms to the heart. Taking a moment, honoring yourself, bringing the mind back if it's starting to wander. A little coaxing of ourselves sometimes, yeah. You can heel to the feet so that the big toes touch, slight gap in the heels. You can inhale the arms to sweep high, lifting the gaze, perhaps the heels begin to lift off of the earth just for a moment. And then as you exhale, shifting the weight into the heels, lifting the toes off of the ground, shifting the hips back, finding our chair pose. From here, we're just going to hang out here for a second, but I'm going to give you some cues. See if you can see almost like you want to rip the mat in half by spreading the feet away from one another without bringing your knees out, yeah? So you really want to press, going to activate the outer hips, which will give you more stability. Shift the hips back a little bit more. Allow the shoulder blades to fall down the back of the body. Pull the belly into, up like into the heart space to allow for a nice long spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling fully, one more breath here. And exhale, bring the palms into the heart. We'll take one more inhale. And as you exhale, we'll twist to the right side, bringing the left elbow outside the right knee for twisted chair. Adjust as you need. Seeing if you can really almost get the armpit over that right knee, and then press palm into palm to bring the heart over to the thumbs. Nice space in the neck. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, pulling that left hip back just a little. One more breath here. And exhaling fully. Eyes come back down to the mat. Begin shifting into the right foot this time. And see if you can, for a moment, bring that left heel up to the glute. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping back, twisted lunge. Pausing here. You can always drop your knee down if you need. And readjusting as you need. And then press into that elbow to, again, draw that heart up to the thumbs. Take a deep inhale. Exhaling, letting it go. Deep breath in. And exhaling, letting it go. Really engaging the legs. Softly release the elbow. And then inhale to bring the arms high. Take a moment, lift out of that knee. Oh, man, I know we're getting into the legs today. It's because we need to get grounded. It's okay. Bending back into that right knee as you're ready. Rolling that left hip forward. Inhale, fingertips lift high, lifting that back heel a little bit higher. Exhale, hips sink a little bit lower. One more inhale here. As you exhale, begin twisting to the right. Twist, twist, twist today. As you inhale, fingertips reach away. So right fingertips reach back, left fingertips reach forward. Exhale, shoulder blades fall down the spine. Maybe the eyes reach for the right fingertips. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath here. As you exhale, right arm sweeps down, arms sweep high as you inhale. And exhale, palms frame that right foot. On your next inhale, planting the left palm, right arm sweeps high, finding another twist. And as you exhale, see if you can actually draw that left shoulder into the right knee.
Yeah, so sometimes we fall back away from the need to do an open stretch or an open twist. We want to pull our torso into that right thigh so then we can twist from the base of the spine. Just 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhaling. 1 more breath. As you exhale, right palm comes down, framing that right foot, shifting just a little bit forward so that your left heel can come down. So maybe a foot to a foot and a half. And we'll come into our head to knee pose. Give ourselves a little bit of a relief here. Begin by shifting the weight front and back. You can do this by sort of pressing into the ball of that left foot. And again, explore the pelvis. Yeah, so often what we want to do is open the pelvis, which will sort of hike up this left hip. Seeing if you can actually press your weight forward to allow that left hip to drop on down, finding a nice square shape. Yeah, we have a nice massage in the inner hip creases of that left or the right foot, right hip. Reminding yourself to breathe. You can hold onto your leg, or I like to just put my fist down. For some reason that has been feeling good for me recently. Maybe find the shape, seeing if you can begin tucking the chin into the chest. It's really in this shape, what we would aim for is to bring the forehead to the knee. So it's a very compressed shape. Some teachers teach it to elongate the spine to really draw the head towards the foot, but really it's like compress the front body as much as you can so that you could eventually bring the forehead to the right knee. Not easy, but that's okay. That's why we practice. Taking 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, begin softening that right knee, planting the palm, stepping the left leg back, finding this nice lunge once again. You can plant the left palm, and we can turn all 10 toes over. Turn all 10 toes over to the right side of the mat, and go ahead and hook the peace fingers around this right big toe. We're just going to try this. It's okay if you don't go far because it's really hard. Yeah, so you can begin by kicking, almost just start by lifting up that right foot. See how your balance is going to go today. And seeing if you can really engage this left shoulder along the way. A lot to think about. Kicking into that right foot. Maybe this foot begins to lift. Maybe you can begin to kick it forward. So you're in this sort of closed hipped plank balance, side plank. And maybe you can begin to open up this leg out to the side. If you fall, you're so close to the ground, it's totally perfect. Yeah, it's a fun sort of thing to try. You'll notice eventually, if you get there, that the hips will really open up and then you have this nice sort of triangle that's in side plank. Yeah, just taking 2 more breaths, deep inhale, wherever you're at. 1 more breath. And exhaling, letting go of your grip and going ahead and stepping that right foot behind the left knee. You can inhale to lift the hips high, finding a nice front back or a back bend to open the front body. Deep breath in, fingertips reach away, hips lift a little higher. Exhaling to soften. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, planting that right palm back down, hips send back for your down dog. If you'd like to make your way through a flow, this is your time. Yeah. If not, maybe you just go to plank and then back into your dog. Maybe you hang out in dog. Maybe you take a breath in child's pose. It is really hot in this basement that I'm in, so that's good. Just taking 3 to 5 breaths. Just getting back in touch with the breath and where you're feeling. Indulging in sensation. Yum. As you're ready, making your way back to your down dog, we'll take a deep breath in through your nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feeling the lips, inhale, heels lift nice and high. As you exhale, bending the knees, looking between the palms, stepping or hopping to the front of the mat. Inhale to sweep the arms high. And exhale the palms to the heart. Taking a deep breath in.
letting it go, bringing the mind back into the body, back into the heart. On your next inhale, arms sweep high, lifting the gaze with the fingertips, shifting into the toes. Maybe the heels begin to lift off of the earth. And then exhaling to press the heels into the earth. Toes begin to lift, shifting the hips back, finding your chair pose. Once again, seeing if you can spread the legs apart without splaying the knees. Yeah, it's like you're hugging a block, or they say hug a mango, a nice juicy mango between your knees. You don't want to squeeze it, but you don't want to let it drop either. You can engage the outer thighs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, shoulder blades drop, hips drop. One more breath here. And exhaling the palms to the heart. We'll go right through this, don't you worry. Take a deep breath in, exhaling to twist to the left this time, adjusting as you need, seeing if you can get that armpit down towards the knee, and then pressing palm into the palm to really pull the heart up, taking 3 breaths here. Deep inhale. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears, pulling that right hip back. Deep breath in. Exhaling fully, 1 more breath. Exhale, eyes come back down to the mat, shifting into the left foot. Maybe the right heel lifts up. Maybe just a little test balance today. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping back, finding your twisted lunge. Yeah, bringing that right knee down if you need, no problem. Readjusting your twist, and then again, pressing palm into the palm to bring the heart up towards the thumbs. Just 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling, engaging the legs to softly let go of that elbow. Inhale, arms reach high, pressing into that left leg. Giving yourself a little bit of a relief. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's amazing like how fatigued the leg feels, and then right now it's like, oh, I'm all better. Yeah, we're building strength. It's great. Take a deep breath in. And then bending that left knee once again, coming right back into it. Lift that right heel nice and high. Squaring that pelvis, pulling the right hip forward. Deep breath in. And exhale, twisting to the left. Left fingertips reach back. Right fingertips reach forward. Almost imagine that you're closing the inner thighs together. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deepest breath. As you exhale, left arm sweeps down, inhaling both arms to sweep high. And exhale, planting the palms back down. Planting the right palm as you inhale, the left arm sweeps high. And exhaling to twist, drawing that right shoulder this time towards the left knee. Just closed twist so that you can really twist from the base of the spine. You might get a nice stretch in that left outer hip as well. Taking a deep breath in. Exhaling, twisting a little deeper. 1 more inhale. And exhaling to plant the left palm back down. Shifting your weight forward a little bit just to bring that right foot in so you can have your Parsvakonasana. Shifting the weight front and back, nice and gently. Just by lifting that right heel, you can sort of get to know your pelvis a little bit more in this shape. There's tendency, it does feel really good to open up the pelvis, but really what we want to aim for is to roll that right hip forward, which means shifting the weight forward a little bit here. And as you find your square pelvis, maybe tucking the chin into the chest, just seeing if you can almost touch the forehead to the knee. Really deep compression. Taking about 3 to 5 breaths here. A nice moment to have a forward fold, a little bit of a break for the legs, connection with the self. Taking 1 more deep breath in. This time as you exhale, softening that left knee, stepping the right foot toes back, and then turning the toes to the left edge of the mat. You're going to find this on the other side. You might notice one side is much easier than the other. It changes every day, and that's okay. Yeah, so finding the index and middle finger of the left hand on the left big toe, and then just begin by really engaging the right shoulder, and then seeing if you can begin to lift this left foot off the ground. It helps if you kick into it. Yeah, so rather than just lifting the foot off of the ground, if you have this sort of counter pressure here, it can help with some engagement. Maybe you extend the leg forward. Maybe you begin to lift the leg high. As you lift the leg high, you might notice the hips want to go up too. That's good. Taking 3 breaths wherever you're at. Deep exhale, finding a place for your eyes to focus. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath. As you exhale, softly let go of your grip. Step behind the right knee this time. Inhale, lifting the hips high, opening up the front of the body. Deep breath in, reaching and pressing. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. As you exhale, left palm comes back down, finding yourself back in your downward dog. You can inhale to roll forward to plank, moving through your flow if you'd like. No pressure. And eventually we'll meet in a child's pose. Yummy, yummy body time. As you find this child's pose, just sort of acknowledging the work that your body has done for you, that you have done with your body. So beautiful. We notice if the mind is feeling wild or if it's feeling calm. Notice the body and the breath against itself. So sweet. You can begin to draw the palms back towards the feet and gently lift up the head and see if you can bring the chin so much into the chest that the forehead comes to the knees. Yeah, the crown of the head will be on the earth. We're finding rabbit pose. So from here, you begin to lift the hips off of the heels. The head rolls so that the chin tucks into the chest to open up the back of the neck and the back of the shoulder blades. Taking just 3 breaths here. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath. Biggest breath, really inflating the back of the body, pulling, pressing, reaching. And as you exhale, bringing the knees back to, or the hips back to the knees. And you can just place the palms sort of by the knees to give yourself a little bit of a rock here. And we'll move through 3 of these sort of camel waves that we love so much. I love them. I hope you love them too. Now taking care of yourself along the way. Holding back onto your heels once again, you can begin to lift the gaze high. Yeah, so you're opening up through the front of the body this time. Nice counter pose for our rabbit. And begin to carve up through the space. So really opening up the front of the body, begin to lean back, lean, lean, lean. And you lean so far back that eventually the hips just pop on up. Yeah, and then they press forward, palms press into the heels. If it feels better, you can have the palms on the back of the sacrum. Just taking 2 breaths here. Inhale, pressing the hips forward. Belly is reaching up for the heart. Exhaling. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, keep leaning back. Hips begin to drop back down to the heels, creasing in the hips. The chest begins to reach for the thighs. Coming on forward, finding yourself in this nice seedling. It's not a seedling because we haven't grown. This is the seed. Camel can be our seedling posture. And taking a deep breath in for rest. Letting it go. I'll just do this 2 more times. You can go at your own pace. Seeing if your breath can somehow tie to this movement. Maybe it's like 2 breaths to lift and reach high. Maybe it's taking 1 breath to lean back, lifting up the hips with the breath in, pressing the hips forward as you exhale, and just taking a quick moment here
And then folding right back up, allowing the hips to draw down, folding the heart forward, reaching forward, taking your breath for rest, letting it go. And one more time here. Again, at your own pace. Love our whole class can be at your own pace. It's really your body. You can have permission to do that for yourself. Listening to the sensations. And eventually finding yourself in your seed posture once again. Rocking side to side gently. And then here, you can just draw the palms next to the knees, rolling up through the spine. You can shift the hips to one side. And just bring the legs out in front of you. Do a couple of quick hip openers and yeah, we'll just keep going. But we're winding down, I think you can tell. Yeah, so you can cross the right ankle over the left knee. And I love this sort of seated pigeon because it gives you a lot more access to control over what you're doing. Yeah, so depending on how close you want your hips to be to that left heel is up to you. And then you can walk the palms closer. I either like to have the fingers back. Some people do it with the fingertips facing the hips. A little bit of a stretch on the wrist that feels kind of nice. I just go for this guy because I just want to get into that hip. And then just taking a few moments to start by rocking this side to side, sort of like you're cradling this right shin. And just noticing when you sort of drop over to the left, it's a little bit more intense on that outer hip. If you really sort of allow for the low back to open up, if you sort of press down with the pelvis, that's a bit more intense as well. There's lots of ways to adjust this shape. And finding somewhere in the middle to pause. Once again, dropping the chin into the chest. Just taking the space for you. Yeah, no need to go further or take a step back. We are here in this moment. And that is perfect. Let's take about 5 breaths here. Really sending the breath deep into the body, allowing for each and every cell, each and every fiber of the muscles to experience breath. Letting go, beginning to soften. And just 2 more breaths here. From here, you can sort of release the elbows just to give yourself a break. And then dropping the left knee over to the left, and a little bit off the mat maybe. We'll come into a double pigeon. So you can adjust a little bit so that the shins can be parallel to one another. The right ankle over the left knee, right knee over the left ankle, and just shifting any flesh out from underneath you need. I like to temp the fingers by my side and just give my body a nice sort of rock, sort of allowing, there's usually a bit of space between that right knee and left ankle. And this sort of allows it to sort of begin to drop down. Yeah, finding some stillness as you're ready. And pressing into the fingertips, again, that kind of draws that right knee down. If you've got a lot of space there, that is perfect as well. This might be where you want to stay. If you want to move a little bit deeper, you're welcome to walk the palms forward. And seeing if you can imagine the pelvis pouring forward. Yeah, just like your heart sort of pours forward. You can imagine the pelvis is rolling, pouring forward. And just take about 5 breaths here as well. And to imagine really breathing into the back of the body, breathing into the creases in the hips, letting it all go, and allowing
the breath to weave its way through the muscles of the fibers of the muscles. This is the time of class when my language starts to get all jumbled. But we're all here for it. Taking one more deep breath, deepest breath that you can. Exhale, letting it go. Walking the palms back. You can lean the palms back, extending the legs in front of you. I'm doing my favorite, just shake them out. You can really sort of allow for them to really hit the ground. It's so beautiful. This is really powerful healing for the nervous system, for any soft tissue damage, any sort of congestion of energy in the legs. This will just be so good. Yeah, letting that movement go. Enjoying that sort of residual sensation. And then we'll move on to the other side. So just leaning back, planting the right foot, left ankle crosses over, and then finding sort of where you want to be for this. How close you want to be to that right heel, how close you want your palms to be. And then just beginning to rock this side to side, a little cradle moment. This can always change. I always like to remind myself that the hips are very different and therefore they need different things. Yeah. Like I know, speaking for myself, my left hip is sort of all over the place with some old injuries and just really likes to hold a lot of stuff. And so sometimes when I come over here, it can feel frustrating, but you know, that's the beauty of the body, is that it's very intricate and unique, and we can really honor that rather than sort of press away from it with frustration. We can say, oh, maybe I could do a little bit less, and maybe I could be a little bit softer with myself. And pausing in center if you're ready, and dropping the chin to the chest and just taking a few breaths here. Making any adjustments that you need, but seeing if you can really find a moment of quiet for you. Feeding the body with the breath. And from here, if you're ready, we'll just move into that double pigeon on the other side. So dropping that right knee down, sort of adjusting the shins so that they can be parallel to one another. Left ankle over right knee, left knee over right ankle. You're shifting the hips to get any flesh out of the way. And then tenting the fingertips and just giving yourself that nice sort of wiggle side to side. Letting that go. Compress into the fingertips to really allow the pelvis to begin tilting forward, almost like a bowl that's pouring forward. And that left knee might drop a little bit more. It might be a little intense here. Again, depending on how each hip is different. Maybe you walk your palms forward. Maybe you hang out here, somewhere in the middle. Whatever it is, it's perfect. Let's take about 4 breaths. Maybe the chin can drop into the chest. And bringing the mind back into the heart space, into the body. Softness and compassion for your own self. And take one more deep breath in here. Exhale to let it go. And walking the palms back, Walking them all the way behind you, extending the legs one more time. Just give them a good shake out here. This can be a good alternative to inverting if you have any sinus congestion or if you're on your cycle, but you want to sort of sometimes when we do a lot of leg work, our legs get really exhausted, and that's why we go for inversions. But sometimes if we don't want to invert, this is a good option. Sort of reestablishes the connections in your legs. So nice. You can let that go. And just walking yourself back up to seated, maybe scooching yourself forward a little bit, and just rolling onto your back, bringing your knees into your chest. Nice rock side to side here. Massaging the back body. And reach for the outsides of the feet for your happy baby. Again, finding some movement. Reminder that happy baby pose is about being a happy baby, which is just the sweetest, sort of silliest idea in so many ways, but you can just close your eyes for a moment in this happy baby's pose and just, you know, get in touch with that space, that beautiful sort of innocence that really babies are so fresh, that their curiosity is so limitless. And they live so deeply in the present because really they have such few experiences to cloud their present moment. Yeah, so when we find our happy baby, it's like, can I embody this sense of contentment and joy and innocence and curiosity? It's so beautiful. Draw the knees back into the chest one more time. Give yourself a good squeeze, drawing the chin into the chest, forehead towards the knees. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then from there, softly letting everything go. Extending the legs out, extending the arms out, finding your final resting place of Shavasana. Letting everything go. Letting the sort of movement of the cells, everything that we just generated can just begin to soften and fall. I am here. You are in your body. And that is all. In this present moment, everything is okay, and we can simply be, letting the bones of the body be held by the earth, allowing the air to rest on the skin. I am here. Staying for as long as you may need. You can perhaps begin to invite some breath back into the body. allowing in that sort of beautiful space that we've cultivated to really inflate with the breath. Inviting in that beautiful prana, drawing some movement into the fingers and the toes, ankles and wrists, and drawing the arms above the head, giving yourself a nice full body stretch, finding one side to roll onto, pausing for a moment, allowing the bones to fall once again, releasing. And from there, pressing into the earth, finding your way to a final closing seat, keeping the eyes soft or closed. Draw the palms into the heart space. And just notice the space that we've cultivated, the space where I am here right now, the space where I am, this beautiful heart that we tap into. We dive a little bit deeper into our own self. Quite a powerful practice that can remind us that while all of the wildness of the mind and the outside world continues to be as wild as the wind, there's something a little bit deeper within us that we always have access to. Beautiful space of you. And this beautiful space within me honors the beautiful space within each and every one of you. Thank you for an incredible practice today. Namaste.